Finally. I'm just curious if they can hear. Can you John check if the sound is
Yep,
working?
I got
It's
it
so
on.
weird. Yeah, hopefully it is working now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
We're back. Just to lighten up the mood. Um, I don't know. I think we're ready. I think my
Awesome.
soundboard doesn't work now. Whatever.
Oh,
That doesn't matter. Anyways, all right. So yeah, we're back. For whatever reason, something's just started to happen with the stream. I wish I knew what the hell was that. And we just lost sound on my end for whatever reason. But we're back. We're good to go. So cool. Where do we left off? I forgot.
I think we were just kind of chatting about the file import stuff. So, going from what you can bring in, which there'll be plentiful more to come. But I think look at it as, exporting, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at from an export in an arena, and you guys work with IJs or STEP, but it's great to see that, at the end of the day, everybody brings in an IJs file or a STEP file. So if that's
Right.
that's the universal format out there. The nice part is from an importing arena, right? I think, when you get into traditional CAD, you look at that, our drop down of multiple CAD formats we can open up from SolidWorks, Inventor to PTC to STLs. And then the nice thing is that you can actually take those STL files. A lot of people don't know this. You can actually, because it's just mesh data, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could take that and convert it over to T-spline, a BREP data, and then start manipulating the STL based off of some of our technology. And I've created so many videos on that. We can even do a whole talk on that next time too. But it's, we can bring in any file, manipulate it, and then getting it ready for manufacturing or just for even prototyping, which is nice.
Yeah, that's something I was actually teaching in my futuristic character design class, where I would model something in Max, for instance, and bring in the mesh, and then use that mesh to create a T-spline body. But the major constraint was that it had to be basically a perfect quad mesh. Like
Mm-hmm.
if there was any triangle, it would not work at all. So
Yep. It's today we're only quads. Tomorrow we will be everything, right? As we sell the vision, it's great to hear that the technology is coming to do that kind of
wait,
stuff.
wait. You just said tomorrow? Is that how soon you guys are gonna be ready?
Tomorrow's very broad, right? But
Well,
it's
I'm holding your word then.
exactly.
I'm waiting for that major update tomorrow then.
Yeah, when you talk to me tomorrow, I'll be like, no, it's tomorrow. Come on, man. But I have to say, Maciej, as I look at you just doing what you're doing on the screen, from my background perspective of being an engineer, it's amazing because how you're taking a completely different approach than how I would take it, right? I think in a matter
Right.
of minutes, you've created something that could either be a mold or just something you're going to use that's going to be attached to something else that you might have downloaded from GrabCAD, and you can add those two together and then move forward into that design or concept you had
Yeah.
from combining features and doing things. And if people that are familiar with traditional CAD, at the very bottom, I'm sure they were kind of tracking what you were doing, so you can see all the history being populated. So that's our parametric modeling side of things, right?
Yeah.
History based, you make a design
It's right
change
here,
every.
right? Those.
Yep, at the very, very bottom. So it's great to kind of see that. I mean, this is just we're taking just a chip off the iceberg here, right? So
Yeah.
when you get into some of the other things you talked about, like T-splines and how do you work with T-splines, and what are the things you can do with that? I mean, we can go on and on about that too, and I could even show you a couple things down that road. But it's great to see we have that flexibility, and newbies or people that are coming to Fusion. The beauty about it's one tool, right? And a lot of people forget about, well, I don't want to deal with buy this package and I got to go buy another add-in and then, figure out how to install that. And then if I go to
Right.
another computer, it's not there. It's just you go under model, you drop down and you pick what you want. And I think, as we move forward in the technology as well as our vision of Fusion, as we get into some of our other products like Fusion Connect and all these other products that we do have, because you look at Autodesk, we have over 180 products, right? And that's great, but the end goal here, it would be nice to start having a lot of these products communicate with each other as well as work together, right? In one sense.
Yes, yes, I want that, please.
So that's our goal here. It's as you start thinking about our vision is, as we come out with these other platforms, these other pieces, we have this model of design, make, and use, right?
Yeah.
You have Fusion Design, you can make things with it, and then you can use, Fusion Connect with other things, right? You get into the whole big picture of the Internet of Things and sensors reading this and that, and how does all this kind of play in this CAD CAM ecosystem, right? And you're going to see a lot of this to come with Autodesk of this ecosystem to where you just want it to work, right? This needs to work with this product, and that's what we want to do here.
Yeah, one of the drawbacks that I still have, and I understand limitations of what can be done in that specific amount of time you guys have, is when I'm working this design, for instance, right? And let's say I get a feedback from production designer saying, hey, can we do changes here and here, and maybe like do a little chamfer right here, or like a fillet, so that it's more like rounded like this, for instance, right? Stuff like that. Simple changes. So I go back to Fusion. I do those changes, and then one thing that I still kind of missing is that connect to Max, because I always bring it back to Max and then work it as a scene. Whether it's due to rendering engines that I have there, or just the fact that I can have my whole scene in there. It will be great to have like a one button solution where you just press and it just exports very much the way you guys did with Keyshot. You have like a plugin that basically just sends the mesh to Keyshot, and then you can do all the updates you want and just press sync, and it's just gonna basically sync to Keyshot, and you can work that way. So that's one of the things that I wish was here. It's not, but
that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow, dude. You're promising so many great plugins for tomorrow.
And it's recorded too. You're like, hey, remember that? Look back. You said it, right?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, and it's live, so you have to hold yourself accountable right here. So
that wasn't me on your Twitch handle. That wasn't me at all, right? But it's great. I may even look at some of the questions come in. It's great. If anybody out there is using it, we would love to even hear the feedback. I mean, I think from in general, as our relationship and our partnership grows, I think, as you guys grow your business with Learn Squared and how we can work together, our office is around the corner from you guys out in Santa Monica. We're right down in Venice Beach with all of our entertainment stuff out of there, and as well as our virtual reality stuff. So you look at the portfolio of Autodesk, right? Of where I'm starting to see, I was just at SIGGRAPH 2 weeks ago, spending some time out there, and we have a great partnership with NVIDIA, as well as we were showcasing the HTC Vive, taking even some of the Fusion work people can do, and then bringing it over into some of our other products like Vered, and putting it on a HTC Vive, and then feeling like you're submersed in that environment and getting an idea of how your design looks, and then go back over to Fusion, make some design changes, move forward, bring it back over, and have that whole experience. So don't think about as Fusion, you might see and you go to our website, it's CAD and CAM and it's engineering, but it's not, right? You're looking at a whole nother side of the fence here of how the entertainment business can use it. And then even to get into virtual reality, right? Of whoever thought I can take my CAD data that I just designed and get kind of that first person experience of how it really is if I'm standing next to it, or maybe even holding it or sitting in it, right? If it's a car or something like that. So a lot of different avenues you can leverage your data here.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Yeah, you guys are like literally next door, like just so close.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta visit. I gotta visit you guys there.
You
I'm
should,
curious. I want to
man.
see that that VR
Yep.
goodness.
Yes,
The
man. You know what?
VR goodness.
What we'll do is we'll host an event. So anybody interested that wants to come on down, we could put on the headset and we'll iron out those details. But that's something I have on my plan to do because everybody loves that stuff. It's all the new age stuff, man,
Hell yeah.
of what people like to
Mhm.
experience. It's amazing at SIGGRAPH. I'm sure you guys have been to it many times, but just where technology is evolving to, right? I mean, you're seeing people now take their data and have it manufactured within a couple of hours, or taking their data and going through an AR or VR experience. It's amazing as we've evolved over the past, being in this CAD industry for quite some time, and being an engineer. It's years ago, whoever thought about infinite computing available to the customer, right?
Yeah.
Or whoever thought about, CAD and CAM on a Mac, that just wasn't how it was, or needing all this hardware to run such a robust piece of tool like this. And then, we have the applications that do need that hardware. You get into, our partners like Silverdraft that makes some, and I've seen the kind of equipment you have and Ash has, but you get into these you can run and get results back and create data and get data back within minutes of some of the technology we have today, or send it to the cloud to create some of that data for you and getting it back. Our CEO uses this whole analogy of you can buy computing time for pennies, right?
Right.
Uh, and in the next couple of years, that computing time, so you can buy computing time for the amount of a cup of coffee, pretty much, right? And over the next couple of years, that computing time is going to go down in price, but get faster, and that cup of coffee is going to go up in price, right? So it's just interesting to start thinking about where we're moving to, and in that whole Moore's law, right, where things are exponentially doubling over every year, and things are going to get faster and
Yeah.
smaller, right? So it's just going to lead to, you get to this whole infinite computing thing. But it's just great to see how we're leveraging that technology, right? When we come out with our browser-based version of Fusion too.
All right. Here's the addition you guys made that made my day. You can see my screen, right?
Yep.
So when I select that face and I press M, ah, I think it's not available in this form. So if I disable history, because I like to do
Go,
that,
keep going to base feature.
yeah, and then I can rotate that shit. I am. This is. This just
Yeah.
basically made my day when I discovered this. It's like, what? You can make that happen here? Oh my god! Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Because here's a really cool part. So all right, so I'm gonna have a question here as well, but I'm gonna start with this maybe.
hmm
So I'm doing like something like this, right? And let's say from the top view, I'll make like a really cool shape. Boom. Let's make it an edge of a blade, right? Just like one side, looking at one side.
hmm
And then I'll just cut it down. So we're literally just looking at a quarter of front part of a blade. So
hmm
here is one thing where I can just basically rotate that stuff and change this curve right here.
hmm
And then I can also go in and select those two and do like those changes, all that goodies. So
hmm
that was basically like, oh my god.
If you, and I love this, what you're doing with the direct editing side of things.
Yeah.
Have you ever taken like that top face and you can actually convert it over to to
Check
to
this out.
B-rep data? Yeah.
This is just amazing. No, it's really that just basically changed quite a lot for me because now I can create those really cool shapes really quick. I have a question here for you though.
Of course.
So what I want to one thing I wanted to do once was let me start right here. A box. Can't remember. All right. So let's say I want to do a like a regular fillet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's done basically just rounding up an edge. Is there a way to change the curve of it so it goes inside, like cuts in, instead of just like rolling like this? Like almost like using a profile instead of just
exactly. So you want to flip it on the inside out, right? So kind of create. Yep, totally. So in this environment, what I would do is actually draw the sketch and then do a cut extrude of what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I had like another profile that I want to emboss into that edge, I would then do like a combine feature and Boolean operation to remove it from it. It'd be like brought in something. But today, the easiest way would be to sketch on that front face and then draw the shape you want and then profile cut it out.
But what if you have, so here's where it becomes tricky, because I'm pushing it to where I think I want to push it. Let's say you have a shape like this instead, right? And also, let's say, well, I cannot do it here right now, but yeah, but let's say you have a shape like this. How would you deal with that? And also bearing in mind that you would want to have different thickness along the line. Like maybe it's going deeper as closer you get to the other edge. You know
totally.
What I mean?
Yep. So try this out. Go back into fillet for me. And a really cool shortcut, you hit the S key on your keyboard. It brings up a little shortcut bar.
S key?
Yep. S key.
Model toolbox? Do I need to go to fillet first?
Yeah, you could just type in fillet and it'll pop up. But so you can type in right there in the model toolbox when it popped up, and then type FILL and it'll filter out.
Like right here in this little box?
Oh yeah, don't even click it. Yeah, I think the box kind of disappeared off your screen or something, but no worries. But here's this constant radius. Drop that and pick variable radius under the constant radius. I think does that say variable now or does it say constant still? I think it says.
No, it's so I know there is a feature where you can just basically, do like a little like differences. Let's say at the end I want to have it this way. So this is where it's going. So for instance, I want to use this with variable thickness, but now be also able to. You know what? This actually gets me an idea. I might just discover how to do this. So if I do a fillet like this, and let's say, and you can tell me if it's gonna work or not, and do a sketch like that, can I make that so this sketch sweeps or basically goes along those two lines that we created here as rails?
Sorry to interrupt. I'm going to bring Ash in. He wants to join the stream. So.
No. No.
No. Where's the soundboard?
Here he comes. There's no stopping. He'll be joining in just a second.
All right, let's continue.
So you can. So what you would do is, so let's say you took that profile and you can actually do a swept cut. So go ahead and go under.
Nobody wants you here, Ash.
My mom said
go.
My mom said it's okay.
Go away.
Ash, how you doing, buddy?
Good to see you. How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Just at the right time when we're asking all the hard questions, we're going to hand it over to you now.
Oh yeah, so you take your right mouse click and you do it 5 times. You go up, down, right, left, A, B, A. And then the magic toad princess comes out. Now go ahead. Sorry, I just wanted to come in. I had a moment and I just wanted to say hi, and I figured might as well join. So
yeah, totally, man. Awesome. Thank you for joining. So just really quick, under I think this would be under modify. It's hard for me to read the screen a little, but under modify. Actually, I have Fusion right in front of me. Let me just walk you through it. So it's actually,
maybe you wanna share screen.
Yeah, I could, but I think since you have this model up, it just makes it even easier.
All right.
Actually. Go so under create again. My bad. Under create, and you see the fourth one down is called sweep.
Right.
I don't think
I'm
it's
selecting the profile and then path.
Yep. It's gonna be that edge.
Path plus guide rails.
Yeah, you can do that. So basically what this allows you to do, let me try to get this fixed here because I can make it a little bit larger so I can see your screen a little bit better. Okay, this is beautiful. So basically you're going to tell it, if you say path, see what it's doing now?
I have already done it.
So guide curves allows you to follow along like two edges.
Wow.
Is that the soundboard?
No, that just
I hope he's gonna sample it later.
No, we had some problems with sound here. I don't know, Ash, OBS is fucking with me today.
Well, that's what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps you out.
Yeah, it did, dude. That's what I was looking for.
That's cool.
Also, one thing that it's sometimes annoying is like when it's try to calculate something really intensive to a point where it's just like, fuck you, you're not gonna be able to do anything for half an hour until I solve that issue. That's only one thing I would wish was changed.
I see it too. Yep. Tomorrow it'll be fixed.
Dude, there's so many things that are gonna happen tomorrow. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Guys, like whoever is listening to this
Christmas.
Stream, God damn it, like just Christmas tree. So we should have you more on this stream, Curtis, because you're just promising so many things, and now because you're a reputable company, you just have to deliver. So.
Yeah, when you call me next time, right? It's just gonna go to this number is out of service, right? Oh man,
so
but this is awesome, dude. I mean, fire away, man. I mean, you're testing me on the parametric side, man. I love to see, people haven't even seen what you can do in the surface modeling side of things, or even the T-spline data of some of the geometry you can create. So. Right. As you start experimenting with that kind of stuff down the road, don't ever hesitate to reach out.
No, dude, we just literally discovered something really cool that I wasn't even aware it's possible. So, all good. It all can happen on this stream, guys.
And it's great to see even too even the chat dialogue box of people that said that they've used Fusion and they came across it, which is awesome. So it's great to hear we got some customers out there using it on this stream.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I think we're going to have an instructor teaching specifically Fusion, which is going to be a lot of fun on the platform, which is going to be really cool. So looking forward to that. Yeah. But I mean, that's been like the common question, like, why are you using this program? Like, why not use, all the numerous other ones out there, That's probably like the hardest thing to kind of decipher as a new user, is like what to use when and all that kind of stuff. What's your typical answer like when people ask you like, why would I use that in comparison? What's like the big thing that helps you kind of explain the value of Fusion itself? Because we know it, I know why, but yeah.
Yep. No, Ash, I think that's a great question. I hear it every day, right? And it's, I'm using so-and-so, and I've been using it for 15 years, and it does exactly what I want it to do. People need to think about the bigger picture, right? And I think as we look at where Autodesk is going into, and when you invest in Autodesk, right, you're not just buying a product. We see this more as not a transactional relationship, right? But as a partnership where we want to learn from the customer. Think about like Fusion as like a startup within a big company, right? Because our relationship to the people that are on our forums, to the people you see in our YouTube videos, this is all of us that you can get a hold of and talk with, right? And we're really trying to change that culture to where we want to have more of a personal touch, but it comes back now to the value, right? Of, well, what's the why behind I need to switch to Fusion? And I don't want to bring in, we'll talk about costs in a second, but it's technology, right? I think people are starting to see the direction of Autodesk and what we're doing with this platform, because it's not just another tool, right? We want to give you a multitude of different solutions here under one umbrella and make it not only easy, but affordable too at the same time. So when I have these veterans that are in traditional CAD, or these master machinists that have been using these other CAM programs for quite some time, or just the hobbyist that's like, yo, I've been using this free product, right? Well, let me tell you, right? You look at from a corporate standpoint, it's $25 a month to go from CAD to CAM. So if price is a hurdle for you, I think number one, right off the bat, that really helps people ease into this product. And then number two, you look at, if you're a hobbyist or a maker or an entrepreneur making less than 100 grand, Fusion's free for you for an entire year. So, and if you're a student, it's free for you for 3 years. So you look at just how much we're willing to invest and tell the people, look, we know you're the guy who, imagine if the three of us got together and had an idea that said, hey, let's go design this next best thing and let's go take it to Kickstarter, right? Well, the first thing we're going to need as engineers and designers is some type of package to help us create it within a computer. And why wouldn't I look at Fusion if that is going to be free for me to start with, right? So you look at that and you take that and you adopt it and you see the value it can bring to you, because we all know that if we're a startup and we ain't got no money, we're not going to go spend tens of thousands of dollars on a CAD package that we have to go to 2 weeks of training for. That's not going to happen anymore. It's I think, one thing Maciej said at the very beginning, which really stood out, was he's like, listen, I've used a lot of different packages out there. I've used 3D Studio Max. I've used Maya, and I've gotten a hold of those. I'm like, man, this is hard. And it's might not be hard for you guys because you guys are so used to it, but for a newbie to hop in, it takes a learning curve. But then you go hop over to Fusion, which is a completely different mindset, right? Of going from Max to Fusion or Maya to Fusion. And you see how quickly you guys are able to create something. I think that alone sets the value of somebody that's not even an engineer, somebody that's not even in the same industry. You're able to pick it up and do miraculous things, right? Take things and go have it on set the next day at for a film blows my mind of how you guys are using Fusion, right? So to sum it up real quick is from a value standpoint is, I tell people, don't fear change, right? Give it a shot, see what it's about, and then see and hear from our customers, hear from people like yourself, and build that relationship, because people are seeing what we're doing and what we're investing into, and those days of backwards compatibility issues and sharing files and collaborating, we've made it 10 times easier for everybody. I mean, I can
it's awesome.
talk more and more about it, and
well, it's your job, and I mean, people that are listening to this are probably like, this is like shameless plugging, but it's like we totally understand. We know that. That's why we brought you on here, because Maciej and I, people don't know it yet. They're gonna see it eventually once they see the films that come out, especially much more Maciej. But we use Fusion a lot, and we're using it in film production, and it's massive, right, Maciej? I mean, how big of a deal? It's like, you could go, this is what I'm talking, this is the difference. You can be like, a caveman with the sticks and like Flintstones, or you can be like a legitimate person in a house with, running gas and water. This is the difference. You can go and draw and sketch ideas. That's really great. But using Fusion, being able to take these models and props and ideas directly to the printer or directly to the CAD-based whatever other softwares and stuff, you just can't really touch it. And like, the reason why we wanted to, I mean, there's many reasons. You're a cool guy first and foremost, but it's really good for us to have you here because like you guys are doing something that involves the future, and we're all about it, so. And we use it like, like it's cool watching Maciej go through this too, because we all have different processes too of how we like see shapes and images and abstract things and bringing details and stuff. I love watching modelers work because it always like trips me out. Like, oh, you're doing that. I would have gone the other way too. So, but sorry, I'm like all sidetracked. But no, I mean, there's a strong reason why we're doing this, and we're gonna try and do as many as Curtis allows. So.
and I'm all for it. It's and I'm all for it, and of course I respect and I appreciate the partnership, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a relationship, and if we can help each other out, It just helps the awareness, and it really drives, how we feel of what is the future of making things. Like, 15 years ago, we never thought about, us going and walking into Costco and buying a 3D printer, right? Or, that day will come is when we can all walk in and go buy a CNC machine for a fair price that does additive and subtractive. Technology is evolving so much, and we look at this tool as our next generation platform, to where it's going to evolve us to make things as simple as possible and give us the flexibility to really do as you please, right? So it's happy to hear it from customers like yourself.
Yeah, we're using it. We're applying it. It's not a polygonal model that's made in a program. It's an actual CAD-based 3D printer ready kind of software that allows us to go straight to production. And when you're working in film and movies and production, like, they don't have time to sit around and wait for like something to be translated. The faster you can get your ideas out, the better. The more resourceful and more powerful you become. There's guys like Vitaly, like Vitaly is a big proponent for using CAD-based softwares for his modeling. That's why he gets that really beautiful. I mean, he uses Softimage XSI still, I believe, right, Maciej?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he uses Moy quite a bit too. We got to get him on that Fusion train. I think he's aware of it, I'm sure, but I think he's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. And people, there is a lot. I just saw the question. Somebody saying there's so many programs to learn. You're completely right. I mean, for me, as a person that's not really a program kind of person, it's really daunting at first. But I don't know. The learning curve that I found with Fusion was really small, and I found some
There's
tutorials
no learning curve. It's just
it's
open it
really
up.
really small.
Oh, it kind of works.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I the times that I really wanted to understand the UI, because we know when you learn anything new, like Maciej is really, I think he's a unique person in how he learns things, but when you learn anything new, there's always a barrier of entry, and there's a moment when you learn where you're just like, wow, I suck, and this is a bummer, so but I found that it was really quite low, and the threshold was quite low with Fusion. But I know, like, it's a program that I want to spend a lot more time in. I just haven't had the time to dedicate to getting in there and playing with it as much as I'd like to. When I get into Fusion, I know I'm going to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. That's what happens, because then I'm like, oh crap. So I think once I have a little bit of time, I'm going to get back into it, and just because it's so fun. It reminds me of playing with like Legos as a kid, or using my imagination to kind of build forms and shapes, and be a lot of fun too. So somebody's asking me, what are you making?
I don't know.
He's just freestyling.
It looks like some of that stuff you've done that you showed me the last time I saw you for one of these movies, man. I mean, it's just, I even love the workflow you use of going from Fusion and then bringing it into, I think you told me, like Adobe and some of these other programs, to where you can now give it some rendering and give it some kind of character to the design, and you point to it like, oh yeah, this all was designed in Fusion, and I think from Fusion as like just this, and I never thought that workflow, you can go and take this in and add so much. It's like adding makeup to a person, right? It's like you come in with this, and then you add makeup to somebody, and they look completely different.
Yeah.
That workflow blew me away. I never even thought about it, because I'm an engineer, right? And we don't use that process in our day-to-day activity. So it's great to see how you can just take those images and work with them.
Yeah, it's cool. Maciej's always doing something interesting. He's always got some kind of new program or something. I always give him crap for it, but I admire it because he's always interested in trying new processes. And I remember, what was this, like maybe 2 years ago, you were talking about using CAD-based software for modeling and bringing it into your pipeline stuff and your stuff. How did you come about it, Maciej? How did you find Fusion 360?
I can't remember. It was a moment when I discovered that our friend Vitaly, how he's doing his shit, It was that very moment where I had that discovery moment. Like, oh, you bastard. This is how the goodies are done. This is how the goodies are done, And that was the moment where I was just like, oh, okay, I got to learn that shit, And then I started looking into, I asked Vitaly, because he's a good friend of ours. I asked him what he's using. He gave me some pointers, and I also started like looking around, like what else is there, because this is a good idea. This is a good software, but I want to see options. I always find it really cool to look into options, to look what is out there, what is really cool, and try to work with that. But So that's how I stumbled upon Fusion. I was just like, I don't even know what that is, but I'm gonna give it a try. And I've installed it, and compared to everything else that I was trying during that time, it was by far the easiest software to use, by far. Like that was just like, oh, it's just kind of that easy, huh?
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, if you have a mind for it too, I think it really helps because it's very intuitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this sharing style too. It was really weird when I first started to learn the language of how things are shared. For those of you that don't use Fusion, it doesn't really. I don't think you don't really save it to it saves in the cloud basically, right?
Right.
Exactly.
And you could do team working. So it's like it's hard to explain, but it's very future based. It's really cool, man. I don't know. It's like a lot of these like things that when I first used it, I was like, how the hell do I save it? And I still get hung up on it. I'm like, where's my file? I'm supposed to save the file here, and I'm like, oh crap, no, it's in the cloud. So I'm just supposed to open up the project, that way. So
Well, you can work in offline mode, which basically just gonna
That's
store
true.
it on the computer, and that's how I've been. Because when you work in film, you cannot really go cloud, not yet. They're so anal about you being safe with your work and whatnot. And I understand it. There's so many leaks happening in film, so many shit get released without any reason, like that Wolverine movie that just basically just leaked out in full glory without any of the effects, and looked so bad. Oh my God. So
that was me, by the way.
Studios allegedly. So studios go really paranoid.
Mr. Concept Art. Yeah, well, rightfully so. It's a huge investment. It's a lot of money and time invested. We should get Vitaly on the stream. Definitely, he'd be totally down for that too. Let's bring him in sometime.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, he's a beast. No, it's really cool. It's cool to see your process too, Maciej. I mean, I have videos, from the class and stuff, but it's been a while. There's been so much going on too, so it's difficult to kind of make sure everything happens. But that's one thing right there. What you're doing right there is one thing that I absolutely love about this program is being able to just adjust and flip things on the fly. Like, add a little bit more of it, like size or change the shape ever so slightly. You can go back in history to your path and rechange things. I mean, sometimes you do get stuck, and that's a bummer. And you're kind of like stuck with what you have. But then if you work relatively open, man, the possibilities are just endless. It's really cool. And this is really when I get completely lost. I'm just like, again, I get up, I go, oh shit.
Zoom in. Can I add a little chip right here? Zoom in even more.
For reals, then you zoom out, you're like, oh no, I was working at 100,000% in. So yeah. How long have you been with how long have you been with Fusion, Curtis?
You know what? I've been at Autodesk almost 4 years now. So I was on the opposite side of the coin working for the competition. And when I came aboard, I started on the CAM side and really then adopted into Fusion when it was starting to pick off. When we rebranded it to Fusion 360 before it was, right after it was called Inventor Fusion.
Right, I remember that. That's when I started looking into it.
Yeah, yep. And we made this whole kind of cloud-based environment. And so you look at, I'm still not the mastermind here behind it all, but you see the evolution. And it's not like every time we update it, people are like, oh my gosh, there's always going to be an update and it's going to change. It's like, well, no, it doesn't. We're just giving you more functionality. Menus don't change. Toolbars don't change. There's no big overhaul here. It's just we want to give you more. And if there's a problem, we want to fix it. But and awesome. that's really amazed me when I look at over these past 3.5 years working on the Fusion team to see how we've evolved the product, right? And I look at in traditional CAD, how long would that have taken? Years, probably 10 years to evolve to how we've done with their yearly releases. Now with Fusion, I mean, we actually started with 6 to 8 week release cycles, and now we're down to 2 to 3 weeks. So that's how fast we're getting out to get that product updated, get things dialed in 100%, and make the product even better.
That's tough to do. I mean, we know that firsthand running the school. It's like it's tough to be robust and quick in a big team. It's tough. Like we're a very small team, and but to be able to continually like make and create new things, that's not easy. And like constantly being able to be innovative and stuff, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of conscientious, to be conscious of it as well is really important too. So people are asking about differences between Fusion and moments of inspiration. Have you played with Moy before?
I haven't. But are you a Moy user at all?
I've tried it. Yeah, I've tried it a couple of times. It's cool. Like it's definitely. I think Vitaly uses it quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's very easy to use. I think. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about it because I don't want it to sound blatant that I don't. I'm Team Fusion. I'm team like whatever works the fastest, and that's why we're here, because Fusion's freaking awesome. But the only big complaint I had, and I'm not sure if Maciej had the same thing, but it crashes a ton. And like if I'm up to 4 o'clock trying to get a deadline done and it crashes, I'm like, okay, I'm removing you from like my before I throw my computer off the floor. I'm out of here, like anytime. But it could possibly just be me not using it.
It's just you.
Yeah, most likely me. It could also be like Maciej's mom always calls me and she like she throws my computer off because she's blowing it up with Skype calls and stuff. So.
I know. She's just being nasty like that,
Yeah,
I told her because you need a vacation, so she's just like interrupting you all the time. So
but you should give it a try just to see. But I think I'm curious to see what you think of it. It's interesting.
I used it briefly, and there's a couple of things that work quite nicely in Moy 3D. I think the amount of work you can do with curves and like different sweeps is very similar to how Rhino works in terms of building surfaces, and it seems to run a little faster on those terms, but there's just to conquer that, there's also some confusing things where it seems that when you build an object, it's like a bunch of surfaces, they're not really connected. It doesn't feel like when you open Fusion, like all right, this is my object here, right? I already know when I select it that's the body object. That's
another
like
one,
like a full surface. Whereas in there, I think when you're building it, you need to join surfaces together in order to create like an object. It's working really a little bit different. It's almost like being in the patch mode where you're only working with surfaces. And as soon as if you want to have a body object, you need to connect them and make them work together. Again, I haven't been working enough with it to have a better opinion, but for now, it's just like everything I really need is already here. So I'm just experimenting at that point. So, but shortcuts, please, shortcuts.
Yeah, shortcuts would be awesome. And also, I was thinking one thing that this is just a personal request from me, Curtis. Maybe you can. I don't know. I'm just
turning this
Christmas time,
turning this podcast into personal request. Hey,
this
Curtis
is a
already
live stream.
he already said that there's so many features coming tomorrow. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. That's
it is.
But I mean, we're needy. Okay, we got a lot of things we need.
Oh.
One thing it would be really awesome. I mean, the thing that we're using it for is not what you guys intended this to be designed for. We're using it for fictitious kind of prop design and all that kind of stuff, and using for props for like concept art and design and stuff. The one thing I find to be a big problem is exporting to getting it into like say any 3D program. I know I don't have any other Autodesk programs, unfortunately. I only use Fusion's only Autodesk program that I currently use. I use Cinema 4D for my main platform, so it's a bit of a workaround. I think I have to use like Mesh Mixer and or I have to go back to I have to bring the step file into Moy, then export that way. But it would be awesome. I don't even know if it's possible, but it would be incredible to have some sort of exporting algorithm or something that would allow to be able to take these things and I don't know, bring it into export it to an OBJ or something that has interesting topology if needed and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be like a complete nightmare to texture and UV. But that's just I'm just throwing out ideas there. So
I think so. The two things you guys both brought up is with the first one was shortcuts. And, we do have some hotkeys out there. I'll give you guys we actually have some mouse pads that have all the hotkeys on there. So I'll make sure to get you guys that.
Swag.
Probably, you guys looking for customized shortcuts, I'm thinking, right? Where you want to say, hey, have Q do this for me.
Yeah.
And that's definitely in our road.
Just jump in and I want this to be this. And
exactly.
that's because I want it.
Exactly.
Daddy gets what daddy wants.
Daddy wins, daddy gets.
So was that the soundboard? I hope.
No, that was me.
That was
But, it's great. So that's already like your number 1 million that has asked me. Now you're 1,000,001, which is like a tick mark, and they totally know about it. I actually think it is this year. Very soon, actually, they're going to be coming out with that customization of the hotkeys. But then Ash,
yeah.
to your point about like, hey, you know what, dude? Just take all these files and like batch send out to an OBJ that has, this amount of mesh or triangle, whatever you want to do.
Yes.
We do have an open API. So a lot of people don't know, but we're very adamant about opening up our technology, and anybody can go in there and do whatever they want. I have plenty of information. If you guys are into the coding side of things, Python scripting and all that kind of great stuff, shoot me an email. My contact information I'll type in the chat. But shoot me an email. More than happy to work with you guys too on stuff.
No, I want you guys to do it. I just want to be lazy and use it. I don't want. I don't want to make it. I would have clicked.
I don't want to make it either, man. Someone post it somewhere.
Bro, the team here at Fusion, we've been busy having people do the coding for us. Yes. I like your style, Curtis. I like it.
You like that? I'm going to have the customers work for me now. Go and write that.
It's like when you go to the grocery store, you're like, okay, welcome to our store, and go find your stuff, put it in a basket, come over here, pay for it, and put it back in the bags and take it home. It's like, wait, what are you guys for?
Yeah.
No, I'm just giving you shit. That's the only thing that I wish I had, because there's a lot of shitty workarounds that I have to do now to bring it into the 3D programs. How are you doing it, Maciej? You're doing a step file to Moy to, what are you doing? How are you doing it?
I just drag and drop that IGSs to 3ds Max, motherfucker, and it just boom works.
God damn it. Okay, well, my new move that I do is I just send Maciej the files and, hey, send this me as an OBJ, please.
I will gladly do it for $500 an hour.
Okay, I'll bill Curtis. It'll be part of our Python coding costs.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just the cost.
Curtis, we're trying this out. It's part of the thing. So
no doubt.
How long is the stream going for? You guys closing this up soon or what?
Yeah, we should be wrapping up soon. We've been doing it for a little over an hour. It just depends on how much time you have, Curtis. But we're definitely gonna be wrapping up soon. So
yeah,
maybe we should start with some questions if there are any. John, have you paid attention? And
there's been
you guys answered most of them, but we'll open it up for other questions for now. But yeah, it's mostly just like which 3D software should I use? I'm so confused. You're just like,
You got to know your intention. I think that's the most important thing. Like, what are your goals? Like, are you trying to be a hard surface modeling guru like Vitaly? Are you trying to make props for movies? Are you trying to make 3D realistic portraits of human, faces? I mean, it depends on your goal. That's my take on it. Everybody asked me that, and because I had the same questions before I started all this. I was like, well, what the hell? What does what? It's really hard to navigate and tell,
Yeah, there's so many.
There is. And at the same time, when somebody thinks like, oh, that's a CAD-based software, and everybody's classified that as CAD-based, and then somebody comes on and says, well, look at me, I'm making concept art with it. And people are like, what the fuck? I could have swore we all agreed that this is CAD-based software, So I think it's not an easy thing for a new user to really, navigate those waters, because it does get really complex quite quickly in deciding, but that's how I do it, so I don't know.
Someone did ask, Maciej, do you use Fusion for level design as well?
I don't do level design, honestly, but I would definitely use it for hard surface, environments. Why not? I mean, even what I'm doing here, I'm just sort of like making a prop that is kind of like a futuristic prop, whatever. Just playing around with the designs and shapes.
My backpack.
Yeah, that's your pee-pee hole.
It said backpack. Dude,
I just
got my pee-pee on your mind. Curtis, I was gonna share this with my coworkers.
I was like, man, I gotta like edit that out.
At 1 minute and 45 seconds, he keeps talking about Ash's pee-pee hole. So,
Next question. I got a random question. It says, I have a lot of trouble sculpting straight edges. Any tips on that?
Yep. So when you sculpt, by definition, like we're using our T-spline technology, so you're never going to get a round corner. So, Maciej, if you want to just open up a new design, and I can just have you do something really quick, and hopefully this might help the guy out a little bit.
No.
I knew it. I knew he was going to say no.
My backpack.
Such a potato, dude.
So go ahead and hit the sculpt, the little, that sucker right there. And if you could just do under create box, and then pick a plane, and then like click the center and draw a box, make it big, like, perfect. Boom. So
what's up, Maciej? We're
Yep.
watching.
So pretty much, you can't, how do you have like a round corner there? Well, if you go ahead and hit OK for me, please. And
Alright.
if you actually try double clicking, so click on, that center line that goes all the way around that right there, and right click.
Loop.
So many
And
clicks.
you can actually say insert edge. So now you can actually add more definition. If you drag kind of that little bar, it'll actually add more of an edge. So try to bring it as close as possible to maybe like the left edge, like right there. Yeah, right there. Perfect. Yep. And say okay. So see how it's now creasing, getting even closer?
Yeah.
Well, check this out. If you actually now see how you have like the flat face, the one that's facing us, double click on that top a little bit higher, the top loop. Yep. You just missed it. Sorry. The actual edge itself.
Damn, you messed up.
Right there.
You suck, Maciej.
Double click on that guy.
Get that fine.
And see how it just picked that edge right there?
Mhm.
So if you right click, and I was just showing you a couple of things here, but we have something called crease. If you hit crease, that will now go and say okay. That now like literally pretty much brings that to almost
Yeah.
a corner,
Sick.
right? So these are ways to kind of take the kind of Twinkie looking geometry and then make it and give it some more definition and character to it, right?
Yeah.
To really form it up to. And if you did that all the way around, this would then become a square box, right? Or a rectangle, just because now you're creasing these edges. This technology, T-splines, blows me every day, right? So you can see how you got the whole edge now.
Yeah.
You can then, and if you exit out a finished form, you can then shell that whole piece out. So now this became a watertight solid right off the bat.
Yeah.
Taking surfaces, watertight solid, shell out that piece, and now you have like, a USB thumb cap, for your USB stick or whatever the heck you want this to be, right? But
Maciej's
there-
new beanie. do like a hard surface beanie.
But yeah, you can
That
go
could be like-
create shell, and then shell that guy out.
Yeah.
Very
You can
tough.
create-
It's great.
It used to be in the right click for whatever reason. So.
Wow, wow,
Hey,
wow,
shell.
wow, wow.
Do you see
Yeah,
shell here?
I think it's under modify. My bad. Guess
Ooh,
you're
right
just-
there.
There. Boom. Click that
Yeah.
face.
So you can put your head in it.
There we go.
Perfect.
So hopefully that helps out the guy who has.
Chase slept a lot as a kid. His head got flat. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
It was just pressed against the wall 24/7.
Yeah, man. If I only knew what you had in your head, Curtis. Give me all that knowledge. I really want the Matrix already. God, I hate having to learn so slowly. Yeah,
That's
like
4 years of knowledge right there. I have been there.
4 years to learn that crease that ass. Yeah.
Grease that is, exactly. No, dude, like T-splines. I had one of my colleagues who's based out of Japan. He designed like the entire Japanese bullet train in Fusion.
Yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
dude, like
That's it.
interior and everything. And I was in Fusion. Like you go to our gallery, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is remarkable how you did it. But it's all, you do all that stuff in Fusion, man.
Yeah, it's
cool.
crazy. So one thing I'm sure people would ask is like, why not just go into Max or Cinema 4D or whatever? Why would I stay in here? Why would I model and make things in here?
We already answered that in the beginning of the stream.
But I missed it, though. Do that again. Give me a sound effect.
Yeah.
Ooh, bitch.
We
no
the
sound
horn
effects today.
It's funny actually you bring this up because you bring up a very valid point, right? It's like, why wouldn't I just do this in what I'm doing today? And I think what you use today, like Max and Maya, are great at that stuff. Like that's their bread and butter, right? But once you want to start cross-pollinating things, like how you're going from, T-spline modeling to parametric modeling, and then as you make design changes, not only does the parametric modeling side of things, but the T-spline body updates. When you start blending two together, I think that's where we're really strong at. So, to really address your question, it's well, why wouldn't you just go back? Well, because now you're going to have not the best of both worlds, but you now have opened up your portfolio to now not only just the modeling and the sculpting side of things, but when you're ready to go through an entire workflow, because things aren't just designed, right? And I think people forget about that. Things, you have to then physically make this part. So how do we go about that workflow? We want you to just use Fusion as that single platform to go from design to make and use. So just something to kind of keep in mind is you could, but then think about all those other 3 tools you're going to use then to go fabricate that part you just designed, where you can just use Fusion to do all of it.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Blossom.
Next question says, the flow is like making props or entire scene and export to Maya or 3ds Max to make the composition and camera.
So the way I work with this is I basically model, do the hard surface modeling here, which is basically what I'm doing right now on the stream. And then as soon as I'm finished, I will just export this file as IGS, because that's the best format I found out to be exported from here, and then go directly into Max and import it there, and then build lighting and everything in Max.
So one more question and we'll wrap it up.
All right.
Well, actually, 2 more questions. It says,
okay.
when is the Fusion?
No.
When is Fusion getting sheet metal stuff? Also, why is Fusion getting the structural optimization tools?
Awesome. So the first part, the sheet metal side, that is coming. We're going to have that released later on this year. On our blog, you'll see exactly the roadmap and kind of follow some of the teaser videos we start putting out there. But we're going to have full-blown sheet metal within Fusion sooner than later. And in regards to the structural optimization, get into statics, get into thermal studies, get into the whole simulation side. We are here. Fusion is a CAD CAE CAM platform. So we want to take, like, the people that use, CATIA or SolidWorks or Inventor, and anything you design typically would need to be ran through a simulation analysis to get an idea of, hey man, am I using the right material here, or how much weight can it hold, or what's the best design we can go with. That's where the value comes into with having an integrated simulation module within inside of Fusion. And then 2, with some of our other tools that we have, like Within and Dreamcatcher, if you guys have heard of Dreamcatcher, which is generative design, to where you can it's amazing, right? Like you set up parameters and the computer
Daddy needs it.
generates a model for you. That's where it's going. So
it's so rad. Yeah, that's the shit right there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Stuff.
I like that name too. I'm down with that.
Dreamcatcher, right? It's like, it's kind of
totally applicable.
Dope right there, man. Good name. Good choice of name, brand. The branding department,
Good job, guys. You done did good. You done did good. What is sheet metal? What is this sheet metal you're talking about?
So sheet metal is going to be, think about when you look at like the ducting system to your house, or maybe like a hopper where grain goes into. All that's fabricated by taking a big sheet piece, like taking like a sheet of stock that's like maybe, I don't know, a 1/4 of an inch thick of aluminum. You take it into a press and you bend it in all these different ways to then fabricate like something that's bent into different shapes. So that's where sheet metal kind of comes into play. And you look at, from housing. So like if you're into, PCB board design, and you look at like even your DirecTV box, that's all bent out of sheet metal, the housing for it. That's a perfect example of what sheet metal is there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. So like making the best out of what you have, the resources that you have.
Yeah,
that's killer. Might as well, right? Because it's all breaking down the math surface area and all that stuff. So
yeah, dude, taking the sheet. I mean, think about even where we're going with fabrics, right? To where Tour, how did you design? Yeah, right.
Curtis, this is a family.
Gosh,
Twitch, okay? There's students here. Cheat that ass.
I know.
Oh, boy.
As I read your Learn Squared little description here, the rules: keep it classy, don't be a jerk, right?
Hey, that's for the audience, not for us. It's usually John. John's the one who's telling us to say all these things.
Yeah, he's just like,
He's the mastermind behind all
yeah,
this.
he's just putting this into our ears.
It's not here.
So you want to take one more question? You guys want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
It says, when will we see the same powerful tools in Revit modeling? Revit modeling?
Revit?
Sometimes.
Revit, like the frog? I'm just joking. Bad joke. Okay, go ahead.
That was stupid.
That was really stupid.
That was really stupid.
How dare you?
So it's
Laughing?
Oh. we hear a lot of that. Revit is such another breed, right? I mean, it's great and it fits within it has its mindset in the architectural side of our business. And I want to be surprised as we move forward, our technology working together even more closely. So I don't have a direct answer to say, yeah, it's coming out tomorrow, right? But we do,
Tomorrow.
right? Yeah, the magic word. The magic
Blowing
word.
you up on Twitter. Curtis says all these things are happening.
Tomorrow. Jeez. Oh gosh. But no, it's something that we talk about, and with this whole new platform, expect a lot more to come, right? A lot more interoperability between our different packages that we have at Autodesk. So I hope that helps you out. Hope that keeps you're high spirited. But at the end of the day, it depends on what you're doing in Revit, right? If you haven't tried Fusion, give it a shot. But you can export your data from Fusion, bring it over to Revit, and work around it that way too. I've had a couple of customers that have done that in the past. So there's definitely a workflow there today.
Awesome.
Killer.
Awesome.
Well, that'll
Awesome.
wrap
Awesome.
it up.
Make blossom. No, John. Quit trying to break up the band. We're making sweet music here.
You guys can keep going.
I'm just joking. No, I got calls and stuff I got to do, but this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
First,
thank
thank you, Curtis, for coming on and sharing your.
Thanks for
Positive
joining us,
vibes and-
Ash.
Yeah,
You're a
thank
good
you.
interviewer.
Oh, it's all those podcasts. Yeah. 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 I'm gonna bounce out. You guys have a great day, and thank you everybody that came and joined the stream. And yeah, go try out Fusion. It's freaking awesome. Have fun with it. It's a great
Yep.
program.
Yeah.
I gotta come check out the studio, man. Come visit you guys when you guys are doing a Fusion class. Hang out with you guys there.
Yeah.
Let me know when. That's it. I'll be there.
Where's our studio at?
It's at John's house. It's at your house.
With no AC.
Well, actually, yeah, we can go to my house. Have AC now.
There we go.
Yeah, like a boss.
Cool. All right, let's wrap it up. Curtis, thanks for joining us. That
Thank
was
you.
fun. And
Yes.
you know what?
Do more.
Yeah, let's do more. If you
Of course.
anytime
I'm
you
all
have
for it,
time,
man.
yeah, you're always welcome. So
Thank
I want
you.
to do some Fusion goodies. They'll do that. So all right, cool.
Goodies.
Those Fusion
Awesome.
goodies.
Yeah, looking forward to the next one. Maybe next time I'll try to model and it'll be horrible and it'll be awesome. I have a lot of questions. So yeah, fun
Yep.
times.
Probably gonna be fucking sad, but okay.
What a douche. All right, on that awesome note, thank you so much, Curtis. Have a great day.
You too, guys.
All right.
Appreciate
Take
It
care.
says,
Talk to you later.
mwah,
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
mwah. Bye bye.